Hey guys, it's been a couple of days, but we're about to do a follow-up for last year. Every time we're on a world record watch, we're going to have to do these videos. Now, it's been a heat wave going on. Will the world record be taken by Jamaica this year when they didn't do it last year? Could it be broken by Team USA? Because when I looked at the times, I'm like, you know what? They actually have athletes fast enough that could do that. And remember, USA was close enough last year with a team that on paper didn't seem like they were close at all with the performances that the Jamaicans put in. They swept, yet the bad handoffs from Team Jamaica compared to the good handoffs, the great curve running that occurred there, actually put USA in a pretty close position, right? So we got these teams here. Alice and Felix and Company set the world record back in London, 40.82 seconds, right? Then we got Shelly-Ann, Fraser-Pryce, and Elaine Thompson-Herah, barring any injuries. But we will see both of those athletes here again at the World Championships in the 4x1, okay? But here's the thing. Before I get into details with that, I'm your host, Nick, and you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Don't forget to stay blessed, be rich. Oh yeah, and by the way, we might just be shaping up, if I post consistently enough, to be one of the number one, not one of the number one track and field commentary channels that we have up here. I would like to do some analysis on some races, but I can't really do it without the copyright strike, because there's some analysis that we can have just from athletes running right here. I can analyze some things here. But anyway, let's go back over here. Oh yeah, and guys, let me know if you guys want me to do an imitation or a parody video about if Great Britain announced the USA or Jamaica trials, or even doing a parody video of them announcing their own thing, because there have been some people that complained and said Britain is announcing their own trials and their times aren't fast. Like, oh my goodness, a 10.1 seconds, amazing time, amazing. Something along those lines. If y'all want me to do some stuff like that, let me know in the comment section here. Like I just went over, 40.82 seconds for the United States set at the London Olympics. Will we have somebody here break this? Now, this year in the 100 is set up pretty similar to last year. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at the top. A little bit different with Shericka Jackson as the number 2 coming into the championships. Remember, it was Elaine Thompson-Herah as the number 2. Similar time, actually, if I'm not mistaken, or Shakira Richardson. One of those two athletes were number 2 or 3. But that was pretty much like that coming into the championships, right? So, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce difference last year, 10.63 off of the Jamaican track with a 1.3 tailwind. This time, she ran in Kenya, then ran it not in Kenya, okay, on a different track with no altitude, and still in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, still ran a 10.67. So that's confirming it. Then after having a questionable start at the Jamaican trials, she still ran a 10.7 flat. She's running her old PR, her own personal best, or faster every single time she's run this year, except for that one where she just kind of had her clothes on and she didn't finish. She was just like, all right, I'm coming out. And then we got Shericka Jackson. After that tour time, same thing. Kimma Nelson, Brianna Williams, all of them, they were in the race. Shericka Jackson almost ran her PR, but the technical difficulties ensued. She was like, yo, I'm 10.6 ready. Run me my 10.6 right now. So we're going to see her running a 10.77 after about 8 or 10 minutes of waiting, multiple restarts, almost 5 kind of starts and 3 actual restarts with a 10.77. Elaine Thompson-Herah, 10.79. Same thing with that same race. She's looking actually pretty good. She's looking pretty good because she's coming in like, okay, she just skirted her way through. But she's looking pretty good because she skirted her way through last year, so don't let that be fooled. And then Kimma Nelson with a new personal best, a 10.88, 10.88, 100. So she's coming in faster than Brianna Williams was last year and on a downward trajectory in her time. which is another advantage. Now, let's look at Team USA real quick. Now, the team that's going there are Leah Hobbs, Melissa Jefferson, and TT Terry. All right? We got Leah Hobbs, Melissa Jefferson, and TT Terry. Now, if you put these times here, you're going to be like, well, there's not a jetter here. There's not a jetter on the team. Doesn't really matter. I'm telling you, just looking at these, slower teams on paper can still win. One, USA has just much better. It's not even an argument. Much better, more consistently too, exchanges in the 4x1 that Team Jamaica ever has. Right? Now, Jamaica has good and fair exchanges some years, but Team USA just always smooth, always buttery crisp, with the exception of, you go back to around Beijing and before that. When I say always, I mean in the last decade or so. But yeah, now looking at this, we got them. Now, who else is on the team? I'm glad you asked. Then we're going to get into the world record watch. Well, here's the thing. Barnes is on the team. Celera Barnes. We got Gabby Thomas. Might be a surprise to some people here because obviously she was suffering from the hamstring injury. She didn't do the open one. She ran and opted for the 2. She pulled out of the 1. But with about 3 weeks and more of her training, she was still running real fast, even with the hamstring injury that she had dealt with. And Tamari Davis. Now, we got those athletes here. My guess is that Gabby Thomas, unless she doesn't think she's fit enough, is going to run that final. I think she's going to be fast enough that if they were to break a world record and the USA wins, Gabby Thomas is going to be able to pull it through. Remember, she's another athlete for all the people that say you can't negative split for the Sharika Jackson world record watch that hasn't broken 11 seconds in the open. But she can run one heck of a running start 100, one heck of a 200 with a massive negative split. Didn't break 11 seconds. Remember, 11 plus 11 is 22 for y'all. That is a little bit slow on the uptake in math. There is negative splitting that occurs on the female side. So, looking at these two teams now. Williams most likely doing the semis and everything. But looking at these two teams, what do I think is going to happen? Okay, the weather right now is extremely hot. We're going through heat waves. Right where I am, it was 103 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 39 degrees Celsius for the people that are international. And it was 7 p.m. 7 p.m. at night or in the evening. And it was that hot. Now, Oregon's not going to be as blistering as it is here. But this global warming sure is real, and it's a temperature gauge of that's going to impede in the performance in some way. Yeah, hot is good for sprinting, and it is a detriment in the distance races. But too hot is still a detriment to all of them. Okay, all of it is a detriment. So if it's getting too hot and it's at the hundreds and whatnot, that might inhibit their ability to, your body to use energy efficiently. So I think if we're at 100 plus degree weather, and even if it is in the evening or whatever, I think that might actually hurt the chances. We're not going to see it. If we're in the low 90s, upper 80s, I think we're going to see the world record, assuming two things happen. One, Team Jamaica has better exchanges than last year, because bad exchanges hurt you more than fair exchanges. Usain Bolt's team, when they broke the world record, I think twice, they had fair exchanges. Bad exchanges are what happened with Team USA last year on the men's side, right? And then Team Jamaica last year on the women's side. Those were bad exchanges where Elaine Thompson-Herah took off way too early. That hurt your times right there. The final exchange, where that was a horrible exchange. But it was like, okay, cool, I got to do my action. So those are bad exchanges. We don't need those to happen if you're hoping for Team Jamaica to break this world record other than just win. I understand. You're like, hey, we're worried about, I know some people are going to leave it in the comment section. We're worried about Team Jamaica winning. Our first task is to beat the USA. Because that's the standard here, right? Everybody's comparing themselves to Team USA. Okay, cool, whatever. Right? That's going to be the team that you got to beat. And yeah, that's the next best team right there, right? Because Team USA could still win. With this team, nobody running in 10-7s yet. That could very well happen here. But nobody running in 10-7s yet could beat a couple of, really, a 10-5 and a 10-6 athlete. Yes, that could happen. I've seen more crazy things happen in the past. So, here's the other thing that could happen. If Team USA wins, their exchanges gotta be darn near perfect, and somebody's gotta run above and beyond themselves. I think Gabby Thomas is gonna be a safe pick if they go with Gabby Thomas, even with her dealing with that hamstring problem. Because remember what happened with Dina Asher-Smith last year. Similar thing. And she didn't do well at all in the 100. It hurt her this season. It doesn't look like she's going to even be in the stratosphere of being able to even get a medal in the 200. Who knows? 3 weeks have passed. We're going to see. But she was able to put it together on the 4x1. And I think they set a British national record or whatever. So things can still happen. You can get a medal. And records can be broken even with an injured athlete. I always talk about Michael Johnson with his hamstring issue that he was dealing with and setting the world record in either the 200 or the 400. That can happen. I believe it was the 200. So, now looking at this list again, can TT Terry go above and beyond herself on a relay? I think so. She's used to running relays. Melissa Jefferson. We got our collegiate athlete here that's already been running relays the whole season. That ain't nothing to worry about. She's almost at the pathway. Whatever her peaking is, she didn't peak right, okay? She's peaked correctly. A 1082. Jefferson right there. Let me see. We got Davis at a 1091. Solera Barnes 1094. If you need to go to somebody else other than Thomas, that's going to hurt the team a little bit unless we can get somebody 2 10-7 athletes on the team. Then it's going to hurt to go down to a 10-9 athletes. We got to get, and even though Gabby Thomas hasn't in the open run a sub 11, I think that on a relay, she's probably a better leg to run than some of the athletes here on paper faster than her. I would just say that. I got to admit that. What do you guys think about this? I think that Jamaica most likely will break the world record. And I will say what I said last year. If they run any slower than a 10-5, let's say 5, I'm going to give it a little bit slower this year, 10-5-5, I would say, well, you know what? I say if they run slower than a 10-65, really, then I think they would have underperformed slightly. I think they will underperform slightly. Maybe I'm getting these times way off, and I'm just going in the stratosphere like those people that say Usain Bolt would have ran a 9-3 or something if he didn't celebrate. Like that's just lunacy at that point. He was not going that fast. They would have ran a 9-3 in Beijing. But a 40.82 with a team of athletes that did not average anywhere near what Jamaica's doing now. Imagine if the USA team from that time, which are slower than the Jamaica team from last year, they would have won because obviously that's the world record. So teams that are slower on paper do not always lose. Team USA could very well still win this. Now, I know some people that are the Jamaican fans here don't like to hear this, but hey, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. Share this video with others. And as always, you've been watching Head and Shoulders ATR. And we got to always cover the athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. I'll catch you all in the next video.